All right, awesome. Thank you again. Go ahead, advance. I don't, if you could advance this, go ahead and next slide. We're going to start with, we're going to look at a 20,000 foot view of RPR. I know many of you are probably already using RPR to some capacity. Others are maybe not even familiar, but it's my role here today to kind of give you a glimpse into what RPR has to offer, how it can impact your business, and maybe give you some insight into how you can put it to use right away. So I want to always begin with what is RPR? In the simplest terms, I want you to think of RPR as a property database. It's parcel centric in nature. So other than, like, most of you are used to the MLS, which is listing centric, RPR is parcel centric. We start with the base floor being public record data, and then we have aggregated hundreds of sources of data and start layering data. For example, we start with public records, the parcel record for every residential and commercial listing in the United States. And then we add in the MLS data that we have for that particular parcel. And then we start adding in additional data to make the tool much more effective and efficient to help you achieve whatever it is you're looking to achieve in your business. It is exclusively for the use of realtors. We are 100% wholly owned by NAR. In fact, $8 of your national NAR dues funds RPR. There are no additional costs. And last but not least, there's no consumer access to RPR. This is something entirely designed to put you all in the, well, I don't want to say in the driver's seat, but to make you experts and to give you as much insight and research and data about a given property or a given market so that you can better assist buyers and sellers and prospects while you're conducting business on a daily basis. Next slide. Now I want to we're going to focus on kind of what data you'd expect to find within the platform. Again, we start with public record data and all of the historical data that comes with public records. But we also have tax records and mortgage data and deeds and default records and billions of photos and valuations. And a lot of that data has come from integrating the MLS data as well as other sources into this database. So that's what you'd expect to find here. Next slide, please. With this compilation of data, there are some really cool things that you have access to, and there's a vast amount of information. It can be slightly overwhelming if you're just getting started. I'm not going to go through this entire list, but think about market trends, right? Relying on RPR to give you insight into what's happening in the hyper local level, market activity and trends, and then the tools to be able to communicate that, whether it's a report or whether it's ChatGPT helping you analyze that data and putting it into a social media format or putting it into a paragraph format. There are listing presentation tools, the ability to create mailing labels. So a lot of different uses with these features and tools of data that help you farm, that help you prospect, that help you touch and communicate what's happening with the individual property, what's happening with the market specifically. Okay, next slide. We are going to focus really on first of all, how to get started if you're not already started. There's a few different ways you can access RPR. The very top line, I want everyone to know you can log into RWT Connect, and there's a link to RPR. Now, Kristen, do you know off the top of your head if what that link says? Does it say NAR RPR? Does it say RPR? Does it say, without having access, I haven't seen it, but does it say Realtors Property Resource? Do you know? I think she might be muted. Anyways, there's a link within RWT Connect. You can click through that link. If you have been signed in to RPR within the last 2 weeks, it will seamlessly take you into your account without a prompt to log in with a username and password. if you have not been signed in, it will prompt you to log in with your email and password, and that your password was something that you created when you created your RPR account. You can also visit narrpr.com, or you can download RPR Mobile. I should have mentioned that RPR is available through a desktop application as well as a mobile version. All of the data and features and tools and data sets are fully accessible through both applications. So it's really a matter of, are you in the office in front of your computer, or are you out in the field, that you have full access to all of that public record data and MLS data and that full integration on your mobile device. So once you, if you have not created an account, once you click that link in RWT Connect, you'll see if it prompts you to log in and you don't have a login, just click either forgot password or go ahead and click a button that says create account. And it should take no longer than a minute. You'll want to verify that you have entered your in the setup process. You'll want to verify which MLS you belong to, because once we validate your NAR membership, we will then validate your MLS or MLSs that you participate in. And then it's basically roles and rules based. So as soon as we validate your membership, we'll turn that data on. So we want to ensure that you have full access to everything that you should have access to. I think I saw a comment that there wasn't that we didn't see the link in RWT Connect, so we will definitely take a look at that. Okay, next slide. I am going to focus on the top 3 buckets of data within the RPR platform. Again, you're going to find what works for you and how you use RPR in your business on your own. I want to kind of bucket those, the top 3 functionalities and features, so that you kind of have a good insight into the data that's available to you. And that's when really I start seeing the wheels turn and the light bulbs going off. So first and foremost, search and research. And we're talking about search and research for both on and off market properties. Next slide. Whether it's you're preparing for a listing presentation and you're researching and trying to find anything you can find out about that property before you go into the listing presentation, whether you're helping a buyer look for properties, and we're going to explore some of that right now. So this is the home screen that you're seeing in RPR. Next. Notice at the very top of the screen, there's a research button. If you go ahead and next, click that research button, it'll drill down to different types of research or search that you could perform. Next. Also at the top of every screen is a quick search. And again, this is going to be displayed at the top of every page. You could simply enter an address here. Now, I'm a little particular to the Hampton Roads area. I lived there for nearly 6 years while my husband was in the Navy. So I could go ahead and type an address in here, maybe 804 Aaron Culbreth Court, which was in Chesapeake. Or maybe I want to research Great Bridge, which was a neighborhood within Chesapeake. I could type Great Bridge into this location. There's several different ways that you can search here. Next. Also now, we're going to go ahead and just type in location here, and we're going to use Scottsdale, Arizona as an example. Next, as you start your search, you have access to additional filters. Next, and those additional filters help you hone in on specifically what it is that you're looking for. Are you looking for active for sale properties? Or are you searching public records? Maybe you just got a new listing and you're sending a mailer to all of the nearby properties. And you want to pull up, you want to create mailing labels for nearby off-market properties. You would select public records here. Maybe you want to narrow by property type. Right now, with there being a shortage of inventory on the market, we're always looking for additional ways to create inventory. You have the ability to maybe narrow results by length of ownership. Maybe we're looking at those baby boomers and all the folks that are looking to make that move. Maybe now is the right time. We could search by properties that have been owned by individuals for more than 15 years that are owner occupied. So take a look at the filter page. Next screen. Every time you make adjustments to the filters, it will show you at the top of this page how many results appear within your search results, how many you're going to return. Next screen. And when you return those results, there are 3 different views. There's a list view, next screen, gallery view, forgive me, next screen, gallery view, and notice at the top of the screen, I've got those 3 different, the green circles. And then finally, next, a map view. So you choose how you want the results displayed. Okay, and we can see here in the map view all of the active properties for this particular example that match the criteria of what we've entered for Scottsdale, Arizona. Next screen. Now, also within this map, there's some really powerful mapping tools that will help you hone in and find the correct properties. We have this pick list where you can see show geographies. I love this. I think this is one of the most overlooked features of RPR. Go ahead and go next. When you click that pick list, look at all of these different boundary types. We're going to go ahead next. We're going to go ahead and select zip codes. And once we make a selection from this pick list, next, we're going to see those boundaries appear within the map itself. And from there, next, we can hone in, we can search in that area, we can start creating reports, we can select multiple areas, but this might be beneficial for maybe someone that is very specific to say, I want to buy in this particular school zone. When I remember when we were moving to Chesapeake, everyone said, you want to be in Great Bridge, you want to buy in the Great Bridge School District. And it was impossible for me to find properties within a given like that type of neighborhood. But when I used the boundaries within RPR, it made it very, very easy. Go ahead and click next, please. Now, off to the right-hand side of the map, I want to draw your attention to some additional mapping tools. Again, I'm not going to go into every single one of them. I'm just going to go into a few of my favorite that I think are key. Number 1, driving, okay? Travel time searches. This is huge. Next screen. You can indicate what type of travel is being conducted. Is it public transportation? Is it car? Is it, lots of different, is it walking? You can indicate a desired commute time of day of week. So in this particular example, it's 8 a.m. on a Monday, no more than a 5-minute commute. Maybe my husband, right? He was working at the naval station. He didn't want to be more than a 45-minute drive from Norfolk, from the naval station, right? So you can either enter a location on the map or you can drop a pin, then you set your criteria and then click next and go ahead, next screen. It will show you all of the it will show you the area, the boundaries, that orange area here that are within that drive time at that time of day. Now, this utilizes data that we have integrated, drive time data that we've integrated into the platform. So it's just another example of how additional data sets that we've integrated are working behind the scenes to create tools to help you be more efficient. Then from here, you could click into the search area and see the actual results. Next screen. Now, anytime you click for more information. So let's say one particular property stands out, it's a new listing, and you just click on it. The very first thing you're going to see is just a little snapshot, right? It gives you high-level details, gives you number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, the list price, the address, the owner name. We can go ahead and click view full details to actually get the full property details. Go ahead and click next, please. And I really want to emphasize this because there's so much information here. I just want to give you, again, a glimpse into all the wealth of information that we have for every property. Notice across the top, we have the address. We have a circle around where the property information tab, and there are additional tabs here. Next, please. We're gonna start scrolling down this page so you can see how much data actually exists. We have pricing information, we have pricing tools, we have a description of the property. This obviously comes from MLS. We have the map, we have additional resources, property facts, listing agent information. Next. And again, this is just going down the page. I encourage everyone at some point, log into RPR, pull up your property, pull up one of your listings, take a look at all of the data that we have for that given property, and you can see how it's been in it, all the different data sources that have been integrated. Now, I'm huge on transparency, and I think this is one of the things I am most impressed with RPR. As a practitioner myself, I've always questioned, well, where did that data come from, and what's the source of the data? Every single one of these, what I call cards or sections of the property detail page, will always display the source in the bottom right corner of the little card. Next, you can see public record history, complete sales and financing activity. Next, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk now about a couple additional uses, how agents use RPR to evaluate properties a few different ways and analyze market trends. Because if you're out in the marketplace and you're talking to any buyer, any seller, any prospect, any friend, they're going to want you to be able to answer two questions. What's my home worth, or what's this property worth, and what's happening in the market? And you have access to this data next in very simple terms. Now, let's begin with evaluating properties. Every property within RPR has an estimated value. That is referred to as the RVM. Next. The RVM, you can see highlighted here, it takes a look at it's an algorithm. It's an RPR algorithm that estimates the value of the property and comes plus or minus 10% of the actual sales price about 93% of the time. So it's a very accurate estimate of this. If this property were to sell today, this is likely where it's going to sell. There's a price, there's a range, there's a confidence score, it shows the change over the last month and over the last year. These are updated twice a month. But you can also augment this data. If you know something about this property, you can refine this value so that you now have a value that you're more confident or comfortable going to a buyer or seller or prospect with. Next. You also have some pricing tools here below the photos and the historical views. If this property recently closed, you'd see a close price. If you created a CMA, you'll see that CMA value. Or if you've never created a CMA, you can go ahead and click on Edit CMA and create that CMA refine value. Go ahead, next, please. So now, kind of keeping on the trend of refine value, there are 4 ways that you can take that estimated price, that estimated value, and refine it based off of your knowledge of market conditions or the property. First off, you have refined by basic facts. Notice the very top, the very first section here. Next, you have the ability to make changes to the data that's coming from public records. Next, don't click yet. Sorry. Refine value by home improvements. Maybe you know that the homeowner updated the kitchen a couple years ago. We have about 3 dozen of the most common home improvements by zip code. Okay, and this is a national national data. If you enter the date that that improvement was completed and the initial cost, next, like I have here, major kitchen remodel, it gives me the depreciated value for that home improvement, right? Same thing with needed improvements. When my husband and I bought our house here in Florida 5 years ago, it needed a new roof. The homeowners were not willing to replace it. We went ahead and entered the needed improvement, a new roof of $20,000, and we used that in our negotiation with the seller. So again, basic facts refined by home improvements that have been completed, needed improvements, and then finally, next, refined value by market, and next, please, by market and home conditions. And these are just sliders. You can say the market is hot, the market is slowing down, right? You can indicate how this, how market conditions or home condition affects the estimated value as well. Next, once you go through next one, I mean, whether you're using 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of these refined tools, it's going to give you a refined estimate, and you can, that will go ahead and be, that'll be saved here as well. Now, if I was preparing for a listing presentation, next, I would go ahead and create a CMA. So notice every property has a CMA link at the top of the screen. There are several ways you can get here. You don't have to click on the property. You can initiate a CMA elsewhere, but I think the easiest is just by going to the property, clicking on the CMA tab or the CMA link right from that property information page. And it's a very simple process. What I really like about this is that the CMA is consistent for all MLSs that fall under the company's footprint and all MLSs that you may belong to. Next, we're going to just simply walk through a simple few different steps here. We're going to confirm the facts of the property. Next, once we confirm the facts, make any changes. Next, we're going to collapse that. We're going to move on to step number 2, which is going to prompt us to search for comps. So it's just literally, it functions as a wizard. It walks us through step by step. We're going to find the comps. Next, we're going to make our selections. Notice that search is important to be familiar with the search. So you can select the comps next, or you can add a known property. Once you make your select, once you see the results, either in the map view next or in a list view below the map, you simply just check off which properties you want to add to your CMA. They kind of move over to that CMA bank, click up, then you're going to click update valuation and close next. And then the very next step in the process is to compare the comps to the subject property. Again, you're going to use the sliders to indicate if they're better, if it's better or worse. Next. And at the end of the day, you've just made your adjustments. Now, step number 4 is to review your comp analysis. You can enter your own value. You can enter your own recommended price range. You don't have to use what the system displayed. Next, please. And then finally, step number 5 would prompt you to create a report, a seller's report next. And it would put it into a report format. Now I want to draw attention to market trends. This is going to help you explain what's happening in the market. And I know I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to go fairly quick. The market trends, again, you can access market trends by visiting the property first, next, or you can click on research in the top right and start a market trend analysis. That's going to show you the type of market at the neighborhood level, neighborhood being the zip code, but you can get more local than that. It will explain the market type next. They're going to give you some key performance indicators, key details that define the market and what's happening, the number of properties that are for sale, the number that have recently sold, the number, the median days in RPR. We're going to look at active inventory. We're going to look at sold listings. We're going to look at sold public records. Next, we're going to look at listing inventory. We're going to look at all these factors to determine what type of market it is. Next. Now, we're going to take it one step further. Next, we're going to after we analyze this data and we have this data available at the neighborhood level, next, know that we have this data that can be put into a printable format or even a shareable format. Next, notice the print button here. You can go ahead and print a report or this page. Next, there's the share button. This enables you to take this data and put it into a format where you can share on social media or share via text or share through even save an image of one of these charts or graphs that you can maybe then input into maybe a newsletter that you're sending. Next. Next. This data is also available in the mobile app, so easily accessible while you're out in the field and be able to answer questions about the market conditions. Next. And then finally, the market trends script writer. This is really cool. This is where we've added the ChatGPT into the mix so that next you can easily analyze the market trends. And this is just showing you a real quick video on how you choose the audience, you choose the type, the tone that you want to convey, whether it's professional or conversational. In my case, it would probably be sassy. The type of campaign that you're creating, whether it's a video script, a social media campaign, or just analyzing the metrics to be able to use this data. So this helps you, again, communicate what's happening in the local market, and it just makes it easy. It uses those key performance indicators to create these scripts for you or tools for you to use. Next, we're going to move on from here and we're going to talk about reports, and we're going to wrap this up. Reports is again one of the top uses of RPR. Next, over 3 million reports are created annually by users in prospecting or as leave behinds at listing presentations, or maybe as touch points to past customers, just to kind of conduct like a real estate review type of, hey, this is just what's happening with your property. Next, notice there are 8 different report templates. These are all customizable. They can be downloaded, they can be printed, they can be emailed, they're personalized, they're branded to your company, they're saved within RPR for 30 days. Next, they're very easy to create. It's like a wizard format. Next, notice at the very top of the screen, we have on every page a button that says create report. There's also a reports tab at the very top of the screen. And then you can select the type of report that you're creating. Next, it will just simply prompt you as you make your selection. It'll prompt you the steps to create that report. You can customize it and choose what content you want included or don't want included. You can choose to personalize it and the delivery method. Next, they usually take about 1 minute to 2 minutes to create, but when they are created and they're complete, they're very professional. And the whole objective here is to have something tangible that makes you look good. The perception is that it's taken you a long time to create this report, whereas in reality, it's just taken 1 minute or 2. Next. And this is just an example of the neighborhood report. Okay, that's it from at a very, very high level. Next, some of the takeaways I want you to walk away with. Use RPR in a way that fits you, right? This is just high level. Again, think of RPR as a search and research tool, as a valuation tool, as a market trend tool, and as a report generator. We're here to help you get the most out of RPR. And last but not least, we are here to create efficiencies. This is made available to you through NAR to help save you money, to help you be more efficient, to be more knowledgeable, and give you something tangible in your business. Next, on that note, I want to thank you for your participation. Again, to access RPR, you're going to if there should be the link within RWT Connect. If not, I will talk to Kristen about that. We also have training resources at blog.narrpr.com. So with that, I know I went over on my time. I apologize. And I apologize.
You're good, Lisa. You're very good. No problem. Thank you for all the information. Does anybody have any questions for Lisa on this? And it is on our quick links in RWT Connect. So we've confirmed that. So yeah. Thanks. Does anybody have any questions? I'm just going to pause just a second for people to unmute or raise their virtual hand or type it in the chat. All right, not seeing or hearing anything. I want to thank you again, Lisa, for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. And we'll see those of you that are coming back in about 25 minutes for our next session. Thanks so much and have a great day.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.